let's do this since we,
Fine.
what is
Oh,
this?
yeah.
Since we're so small, let's just go to the acts of faith for a minute because it just might be a good thing. Who can read it real loud?
I'll read it.
Go ahead, Joy.
All right, April 9th. The strong man masters others. The truly wise man masters himself.
Wow.
The wisdom of the Taoists. There are so many scars inside of people of color. It is incredible that we survive. Scars from childhood memories. Scars from dreams deferred. Scars from words, incidents, and our judgments of them. We cover the scars with personality, habits, and sometimes drugs, sex, and alcohol. We take our wounded souls into the world and we pretend that we are not hurt. Yet every time that we are confronted with an event similar to the one that caused the scars, the wounds are reopened. There can be no healing in our external world until we give intensive care and healing to our internal wounds. We may think we do not know what to do. We do. We must first admit that our wounds exist. We must be willing to examine them, touch them, and expose them to ourselves. Then we must wrap them in the most potent antiseptic there is, love. Today I will nurture my wounds with love's light. Acts of faith.
Ooh, that's so good. Good job, man. That was a good job of reading. I'm going to take that to my class. Really, it's so good. Anybody want to mess with that?
I will.
1, 2, go ahead.
I'll just make this short.
Say your name quick.
I'm Dougie Fresh.
Hey, Fred.
Real quick and short, learned this in the class. If we don't deal with our issues will deal with us. That's what came to mind right away.
That's so true, though. That's so true. Oh, that's so true. And so just like what you were saying about my sister, come on in, y'all, come on. What you said about my sister is, she haven't dealt with them issues, and she's missing, and, and she don't need to be on the street like what you just saw. She don't need to be there. But, she can't deal with her issues, and I want to do that for her, but I can't do it. Is that, well, we might have some more people come. Can I have that little card right there?
Hey, Mark.
Hey, guys.
Hey, what's
Hey,
up,
go down.
man? Hey, what's up, man? You good? Yeah, so, John hit me back.
Yeah, I know, I talked to her.
Good.
What's your graduate?
Okay, yeah. All right, you go?
Yeah, man,
All right,
I gotta pay the water bill.
you got paid one, okay. I just was mentioning about my sister, and she don't have to be homeless, but she chose to be, and I don't know what more I can do. You know what I mean? I don't know what more I can do to be helpful. And that's like I think there's an enablement piece, and I don't want to. Better off, I think, in Minneapolis than she was in Las Vegas. So I mean, looking for a victory out of something, that's the only victory I get out of it because but it's painful though. My children who she Auntie to, got used to calling her, Auntie Rita, and she's at the house every day. And instantly, when she didn't come home, they instantly start asking, "Where is Auntie Rita?" I mean, my wife, her nature was to just kind of hush it. I said, "Oh no, we're gonna go to the kitchen table, and here's where Auntie Rita is. This is what's going on with her. This is what's happening. She's in the street somewhere. We don't know. She's still loved, but she can't stay here when you're like that." Boy. So go ahead. Eugene,
I can totally relate with.
say your name, son.
My name is Geronimo, Pop Guy.
Pop guy. Just call him Jerry though.
Yeah, you can call me Jerry. So I can relate with with my past behaviors affecting my loved ones and putting stress on my loved ones that didn't understand why my behaviors are affecting them. And my dad kept them sheltered to a certain extent, just like you were explaining, you know, to your children, telling them the reasons why. He did the same. And the enablement part, my dad did it for a time until he stopped enabling me. And but he made sure he'd drive past a certain area to see if I was still walking on this earth. So that gave him comfort. The one thing that it took for me was to start expressing myself, my feelings and how I felt, and the reason why I was doing these things to myself. And it took some time to do that. I mean, there's the right time, the right place for everything, and I thank God that He gave me the power for me to express myself and talk about why I felt the way I felt and did what I did.
That's good. And you know, I can look at it from your eyes, and I can also look at it from your dad's eyes. And it's hurting when you see your family out there and they're gone. That hurts, man. You know, you can't help but personalize it because part of him, that's you. That's the seed.
Yes.
There go my seed, he sprung. That stuff hurts. You know, there go my sister, she's out there. And you know what out there means some funny stuff, man, especially for a woman. You know, and I need to entertain all of that. Go ahead, son.
Take it even a step further. I realize, because it says we must first admit that the wounds exist, then we must be willing to examine them. And I realize, man, that like my son is back in the penitentiary.
Oh, wow.
He and Faribault, my oldest. So when we were in prison together and I was in his ear all that time, I guess he wasn't listening. Because I didn't go back. You know, so I broke that chain like I said I would. But I do realize that the dysfunction, I'll call it, in my son, and the dysfunction or the relationship with my daughter, who's 21 years old, my son 40, still out there doing, you know, getting locked up and all that. But I realized that I believe that a lot of that behavior was because of my behavior back when I was doing what I was doing.
Absolutely. Give him a hand for that, telling the truth.
And with that being said, I can say, I can apologize only so many times, and I can say, you know, we got to start over. You know what I mean? But I cannot allow them to allow that time to hold me hostage. You know what I'm saying? Look, you can get with me or not, but you can't beat me up with my past no longer, because I'm going to tell you what, if I allow that, I'm getting high, I'm telling you, right now. You know what I mean? But I will not, and I do not allow them to hold it up. So at that point, I just kind of got to humble myself and then wait until they reach out, and then I got to approach them with love. You know what I mean? Because I'll get all wrapped up in what they saying, talking about, you know, this, and then we talking about that. Now the whole conversation is out of whack because I ain't shutting up. There's a part I gotta play in here and I gotta stand on to get some healing back in here.
Wow, that's deep. And hopefully, maybe I can get him. I would love to get him in my class. I'm struggling with the fellow people, but I can try. So give me his name and OID number, and I will try to get him. Ready? Anybody else got something on this real quick?
I do.
Go ahead. Go ahead.
The first thing that came to my mind when we read this is that just speaks silent cry all through my whole life. That silent cry that's kept me from progressing in my life and ended up in the penitentiary because of it. And it also reminds me of things that I've done to my own children that subtracted from them and gave them scars that now they gotta deal with. So now that I've been gifted, in seeing that there's a way out and there's power to be gathered back in my own life, I need to pass that down to my own children and make sure that they're passing it down to their children and get some kind of a ripple effect going in a positive way.
That's great. Yes, sir.
I got some,
Everybody was, you know, when I gave the report in West City, man, that you was home and in group, man, you know, everybody was shouting, because, you know, you was just up at the piano, correct, logging in homework papers. And so everybody who didn't know you, they could relate to the guy who they was giving their homework to. So everybody knew who you were. And there were some guys who was really happy for you.
You go out there tomorrow,
You
right?
want to do them right.
Say hi to everybody for me. I wish you do that.
You do out
There's a
there.
lot of guys that really miss there.
And then Alec and
Yeah.
Daniel and all these guys were looking out for you, you know. Somebody else go ahead, sir.
yeah, I had a lot of scars. I didn't know when I was coming up, you know. I seen stuff happen in my family, and it affected me. And then after I realized and got older, I started realizing hurt people. That's what I was doing. I kept on hurting people because at the age of 12, getting shot, you know, and then looking at my family, how my father and his brothers and them was living, because they was out there gambling and shooting up peoples, and that grew up in me some kind of way.
Absolutely.
And the first time I got hurt, you know, it could have been when I was like 10 years old, you know. And then I realized that, okay, I was covering stuff up, trying to make it look like, you know, my family wasn't dysfunctional. But then as I got older, started going through these treatment programs, realizing that, you know, they are alcoholics, and I become an alcoholic. I came to use drugs, and all this stuff I was trying to cover up, and I didn't know what to do with it. But now that I got some enlightenment on why my family was going through what they was going through, because they never had treatment. You know, down in Louisiana, it was either drink or eat.
Yeah.
They rather for you to drink and feed you.
Wow.
It's so crazy
Wow.
that now that I got to realize and understanding what was going on, that I was living in a dysfunctional family. I was covering up my scars because what hurted me was the most was the way he had did my sister.
Okay.
He had took her out there, and I'm just a little kid, you know, and hit her in the head with a pool stick. And that hurted me, you know, because I couldn't do nothing. But then I loved my sister, you know, just like I love my dad. But he turned me against him. And I was scarred from him from that day on, that I seen him did that to my sister.
Yeah.
You know, so and a lot of this stuff is like, right now I'm learning to be better. I'm getting better because I don't want to treat my kids that way.
No, you are better. You know, you are better. And you still got work to do, but you're better, man. That's for sure.
Thank you.
And I'm glad to be a part of just witnessing your change.
Thank
man.
you.
It's meaningful. So who else got something? Go ahead. Say your name,
My
girl.
name is Duval. I mean, we've just, you know, I try to not try to hide a lot of things as far as with my kids, you know. And this came just right because it's like, wow, my daughter just got into some stuff and broke her leg and, you know, on her feet and, you know what I'm saying, and high with these new pills and stuff like that. And I talked about it just this. You know, I'm like, why she ain't called me? So I'm like, it's been 2-3 days now. So my mom called me cussing me out. Oh, your kid's going to be dead or in prison. And I'm like, So I can feed off that type of stuff because, I mean, you know, I never did drugs and none of that stuff. You know, I drunk a few times, and I asked myself, and you know, I always feel sorry for myself though. You know, every time I'm like, man, why is it happening to me? But everything's for a reason. And this girl had lost all her money and just so much. She just called me today finally.
Right.
And, you know, I ain't pressure her. I ain't even say nothing about it. Yeah. Cause she was telling my mama, say, don't tell Daddy, cause he gonna be really disappointed to me, upset at me. So I'm like, you know what? When is enough? You know, because when her mom said that to me, I'm like, wow, I don't know what to say to a person that want to keep on, you know what I'm saying, being in trouble. Her brother, is just my kid. And then when I hear about my sister, you know what I'm saying, and it just take me somewhere else.
You know,
I don't even like talking about it.
yeah, but you know, a lot of it, I mean, all of us in here got some stuff that we are not proud of ourselves. And we'd be lying if we said we didn't pass some of that stuff down to our children. You know, we just be lying. Some of the stuff that your children are experiencing, they saw you do. Whether you said it out of your mouth or anything like that, they saw it. You know, or they knew you was in it. And it just opened up the door, gave them a green light. And so now, you know, partially, you don't put some red lights in your life where green lights used to exist. And when you put a red light in your life, it says what? Stop. Say it loud.
Stop.
Yeah, now that's an important word. Because before, all we had was green light. And even when somebody else is trying to say stop, it don't really mean that it's not registered. Right? You just keep right on going because your light is only green. You haven't done the work inside of yourself to establish a red light zone for you. This right here I don't do. I go over there, but I ain't going over here. That's a red light. Now, the more you get under control of that, the more it puts into your children's mind, well, now he done changed. They'll talk about you for changing. They'll try with me. He got time for everybody else now, but he ain't got no time for me. But what the pain really is, you know what? He's showing me a way out, and I'm afraid to take it. That's what's really being said, right? And so then what you come back is not paying any attention to the rhetoric and just start talking about, well, baby, where is your red light? You don't hear me. Do you have any red lights? This is a place where nobody can go. You're selective here. You got red lights here. That's powerful, right? Well, I could go in there, but but I appreciate that you are making your changes that you need to make to break the cycle of violence, addiction, abandonment, and all of these other things that our past behavior is associated to. I don't hear nobody there, but I know I'm preaching good.
Preach.
And we mess around, and just like right now, we mess around here. Time is moving. Time ain't waiting around on nobody in here. Time don't care what your name is. Time's still moving, doing what it do. Right? And you're supposed to be able to get something accomplished in a certain measure of time. And if you don't, it's okay with time. It's going to move right past you. You don't have forever.
And time is money.
You gotta mess around here and recognize that, hey, I gotta put some stops on some things. I need to accomplish some things. I need to get goal-oriented. Say goal-oriented.
Goal-oriented.
I'm gonna tell you something. You could be living. Most people in the street, most young people, they don't have any goals. So it doesn't. Whether you have money or not doesn't mean anything, because sooner in a minute somebody else will have the money who got a goal. The man who has a goal is going to get your money because you don't have a goal.
Preach.
And so if you don't have a goal, you don't have set. This is what I want. I want to have my driver's license. I want to have my teeth. These are goals.
Fix.
If you don't mess around and set it, you ain't gonna have no teeth. You ain't gonna have no driver's license. You ain't gonna have no car because you don't have any goals. You still waiting around for somebody to come and save you. And mad because nobody has showed up yet.
Right.
To get you out of your circumstances, but you're afraid and frightened and unwilling to do your own work. I'm just trying to help somebody in here. And this this thing right here, boy, is so powerful. So, you know, here go my sister, I'm just going back to my own side. I'm not perfect. And I don't come from a perfect family. So, you know, my dad, who I didn't really have that much to do with, you know, just, he didn't have time for me. I grew up without him. And later on, I didn't have that much time for him. But in the late show, my Heavenly Father changed it, and I went and reached for him.
Amen.
You know how you been waiting around in the window for somebody to come, but don't never come?
Yeah.
Yeah, but then later on, oh, he's sick and, you know, disabled, and waiting on somebody to come. Now, I can't. I can't.
Showed up.
I say, hey, look like you're on your back, man. What you gonna do? You getting up or what? Man, that's challenging now when your seed is talking back to you about get up off the bed. He would get up. His wife couldn't get him up. She didn't have it. Right. She was saying something, but it didn't hit the light. But when I said it, the light went green. Say green.
Green.
Yeah, the green light said, oh wait a minute, here come my son. He see me on my back. I can't do that. He's all proud, and you know, this is important stuff. This is important stuff. So what I want to tell you though about my sister got messed around. She had did some stuff and got all on the news, and, you know, this and that. And then my dad was proud and trying to be a good father, but he didn't really know how to do it. And it just broke him. From that point in time, I just seen that stuff just break him down. You know, he was ashamed.
Yes.
So, you know, when you come from a proud family, a history of hard workers and goal-oriented people, then something comes from left field, say left field.
Left field.
Yeah, then just completely tip your pot completely over and then dare you to get up from around it and demonstrate that stuff don't stink. That's some bold stuff. My dad, he had a hard time with it. He didn't make it too good. And so, you know, my sister's waiting for me, and my dad would always go look for it, like your dad did. But I'm not gonna do it. I went already. I'm not your dad. I'm your brother. It's a little different. I'm not going to look. I'm none of y'all. I used to look for.
Well, she prayed her back up, and she's still on.
So it's what I'm here. So there's a lot in here. We all are getting over something. Ain't nobody in here no better than nobody else. We all trying to get over something. But this acts of faith here causes us to dig deep in ourselves. And really what it said at the end of the day is, am I helping myself? Am I stronger in my broken places? Say stronger. Stronger in the broken places.
In the broken places.
I just want you to think about what you just said for a minute. Now, go back and say it again. I'm stronger.
I'm stronger
in the broken places.
In the broken places.
I just want you to think about what you just said. Some areas you're good at. You don't have to work so hard there. Those are the natural places. But in the areas where you have brokenness, it's in that area where you have to get stronger. That requires that you put up some red lights. Somebody say red light.
Red lights.
Yeah. So if you want your life to grow and go on to green light, say green light.
Green light.
Remember we used to play that game?
Yeah.
But watch this. You know how when somebody say red light, you know, you have to hold up. Wait a minute. Hey, Mike Fox, and they say, oh, then you move. They say, oh, you are out.
Can't deal with you no more.
You out. You gotta go sit on the sidelines and wait. In order for green lights to come, you have to establish what your red lights are. When you do that, the teacher will appear.
Increase.
Because the scripture says, when the student is ready, the teacher will appear.
Increasing.
And he will help you become stronger in the broken places.
Amen.
Is anybody in here got broken places?
Yep.
Well, that's a good act. Just give everybody a hand. We gotta tell Tia to come on. We're gonna get this.
right there.
Oh, Tia, we're gonna get this done. Let's have his birthday.
Get his son
Bring
in.
King in. Bring
Both
King,
his sons.
both King and Ja. Bring them in. We're gonna say happy birthday to him on his birthday.
you too.
Oh, yeah, that's right. And, we took them to the, NCAA experience.
Oh, yeah?
Oh, it was a blast, man. We had a big, we had big fun.
We did.
Yeah, and, we're gonna talk about that in a minute here. King was sick, so we can take King. So then, we gonna say happy birthday to him, give him his little money. Now, if you got a couple of dollars for King, you didn't put nothing in, you can still add it. Don't, you know, put something in for the boy so he can walk around here and say, these pop guys bless me. I've been blessed by
Can we sign the card?
if we pass it around, if you didn't sign it, just sign on the envelope.
That'll work. I have a pen.
Here, right here, so you need everything, don't you? Yeah, go ahead. We got you. Yeah, I didn't think I had no teaching tonight, but
I wanted to share a little bit.
Came out anyway.
something was just coming on me, tonight. Dear God. As soon as we get done again, we'll get to you something. All righty. Wow, look at that.
We got a knife?
Look at that. Hey, what's up, Mike? Hey, Wayne, you gonna help him with a knife and everything? Ice cream. Oh, this is we gonna have it going on in here.
Oh, excuse me, I'm sorry.
Ice cream is getting ready to be popping in
So
here.
nice.
This little bit, which
I'm
one
gonna
you
go
gonna
get it.
You gonna get it?
I'm gonna get it.
Uh-oh. And then, wait a minute, we have to put on, his, happy number 9. Let's see, there go the letters, so we're gonna put number 9.
Is the day his golden birthday? When he's 9?
No, it's actually tomorrow, but we got moved today.
I'm trying to figure out when he's golden.
I like an early birthday myself.
They need to go.
I'm gonna get this one set up. King Mason. King Mason. Stand right over there, somebody there. Who's gonna get that? That's some of it. Oh, like that. Okay, gotcha. You ready?
Big smile, where that big smile at? There you go, there you go, right there.
9-year-olds.
You ready? All right, here we go. First we'll sing the old way, then we'll sing the new way. Happy birthday
to you. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday, dear King. Happy birthday to you.
Give him a hand, give him a big hand.
Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday, happy birthday to you. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday.
Give him a big hand, give him a big hand.
Beautiful cake.
You gonna count this, huh?
Right here.
Going back down that
Oh,
way.
here we go.
Want my
All right,
seat?
so,
Yeah, it is.
hold on. So here's something, we're gonna give you a little something from the Pop Guys. So open it up. Brother Gerald signed it right there.
It's all up in there, man. It's all over there. You gotta stay. Watch it. Don't lose it. Don't lose it. It's all in there. It's all in there. So he'll put that one out. He said, I gotta check this envelope. I seen some more out here. He said, yeah, check the
What the
envelope
card
out.
say?
From be that kind of happy on your birthday.
Hey.
All right. We got that.
Who got the little lighter when we can get it for her? Somebody got a lighter. Hold on, you got it. Cut that light up real quick. So you gotta make a wish, and then when you get ready on 3,
3B.
you gotta blow out the candles.
1,
2, 3. Woo! Tell us one thing that you wish for.
I wish for a better life.
All right.
That's, whew,
Still a better life.
Wow.
man, that's crazy.
That's deep.
That's scary right
That's
there.
deep.
That's deep.
So, you know what? Let's have a quick word of prayer. Father, we just thank you in the name of Jesus that a better life will come over your son, King Mason. Everything that he puts his hands and feet to will be blessed. Thank you for his mother, but bless her in her broken places. Thank you for his father, but bless him in his broken places. But in spite of those things, your son, King Mason, has come forward, who is yours and yours alone. Bless him according to his measure of faith.
Yes, Jesus.
And allow a new life to come over him right now in Jesus' name. Anybody who agree with that, shout amen. Amen. A big round of applause. Now, Mr. King, you got to help us from here. And Mr. King, you got some money in your car. Why don't you just quick put that money in your pocket?
And you still got some more in your envelope.
Okay.
Yeah, pick the envelope out here.
Hey, King.
Look in your envelope, King.
Did you take a picture of the cake?
King, look in your envelope. You got big money.
Video.
There you go. What'd you say?
Let me take one.
I'll look right at him and say, look at it. That's Mike. Say, thanks, Mike. Yep, there you go. All right.
Right here. King, you gotta get that money forward so you can have it hidden in your pocket.
Turn around with your dad so you can take a picture of you and the cake.
Is he cutting? You cutting?
Taking a picture before I destroy it.
Take this count on. Take your count on, King.
No, that's good.
Thank you.
Give the old man a little hand. Good job. Okay. What's the next step? What's the as soon as our folks don't be here?
You know, we're about to kick it this weekend. It's our weekend.
All right.
You know, you always on my heels about Legos.
Brother got Lego.
See what you got, man. Share it with us. Let us see what you're doing. You got bubbles?
I love them right there.
Okay. Okay, you got an egg. Yeah, we're coming over with some goodies in that bag. Now, that's the one you wanted right there.
All right.
Yeah.
So I ain't gonna talk to y'all. I'm trying to see what this is.
Give him a hand from all of them. So what you gonna do with all that money, son?
I'm probably not gonna use it.
You're not gonna use it?
Nope.
You just gonna save it?
That's good.
That's pretty good. But you can spend a couple of dollars on yourself, you know what I mean?
Well, Legos.
He know that I kind of I try to teach him to save.
To save.
That's what he said.
Oh, his dad has got him teaching to save. That's good. Come on, Mike, would you come sit down, son? You make me nervous, man.
Can't call it.
Now people get edgy, like everybody here.
Like those boys say in the movie. He's trenching back there. No,
Only when I put the hood on, you know.
I don't wear coats no more.
Yeah, my man. He said he don't wear coats no more. The pop told him, man, pull that coat out. You might have that tag on you.
That's right, man. This
I gave up the coats.
Hey, Brother Shane.
Break it out again tomorrow.
My brother here had a comment. I was kind of
Yeah, we're
curious.
gonna wait until
We're gonna wait.
we get through with Ken here,
Gotcha,
and then we'll go
gotcha.
back to the adult stuff in a minute.
Grab your cards. Son.
Okay.
Putting it right in here.
All right, man.
He be like that.
You're like, I know what I gotta do. I gotta break camp.
He's going with the stuff.
Yeah, I gotta go ahead on break camp out here, man. They look like they watching me too much.
Right. Yeah. So
But it's, if I can say something real
Go ahead,
quick.
go ahead, son.
This is being strong in the broken places. You know, when I was down, you of all people know what my broken place was. And he just walked out that room. And not being able to see him, or speak to him, you know what I'm saying? Like that made my time hard. It got to the point, I used to call my mom almost in tears. You know what I'm saying? Like, she told me one of the craziest things, she said, if it's bothering you like that, you have to kind of block him out to focus on getting through and getting out of there. 'Cause it was tearing me up. You know what I'm saying? So,
Why do you think that was? Why do you think that was?
because of the generational, I felt like I failed because my dad left me, and I didn't want to give that. I always said when I ever did have a son, I wouldn't do that. He was 6 months when I came. And so,
Right.
not being able to speak to him and all that, like that just tore me up. Being in the visiting room, you see other people with their kids laughing and, you know, hugging and all that. That just tear me up. So, but now, funny how life twists around right now. But now, I definitely feel a lot stronger in that area every day.
That's beautiful, man. Yeah. Give Tia some love right there. Pass this to Wayne right here. So anybody who don't want cake?
I just want cake.
Oh, just want cake.
But
The
if I
cake
could say
on-
something about what Tierra said,
Go ahead.
I got a 9-year-old daughter I haven't seen ever. But when I got locked up with my ex-wife, she was 2 weeks pregnant. But I trust God so much and everything, right? And I knew I'd see her before it's over with, right? And my ex-wife called me today and she said, "Where was the little Mike born at?" I said, "He was born in Harvey, Illinois, at Ingles." She said, "Okay, my friend Tasha got my other 2 kids, and now the state of Minnesota says she can adopt Mike and Leasia just to keep the kids together so they can know each other."
Wow.
And me and Tasha cool and everything else, so there's a chance that I'll be seeing my daughter real soon because they can let her know. But I did, like you said, I had just blocked it out, left it alone because I wasn't going to dwell on it because Pops always told me, he said, when you get out, he said, you got to make sure that you get okay. You can't focus on trying to snatch them and everything. You got to make sure you right and got everything going on.
Yeah, that was the hardest.
She called me today at work and told me this.
Wow.
So,
That's
And how that made you feel, Mike?
it made me feel like the things that's going on with my grandkids and everything else, I can really say that I'm a man now because the things I've been doing with my grandkids and everything else, and my daughters and them see the things I couldn't do with them because of my addiction, and they see me doing with their kids, it seems like they appreciate that more. And the way that they see that I am now, like, okay, he might be for real. You know what I'm saying? And it made me feel like a man because all the time I feel like I was just was an imposter. All these years I was just imposter. Wow. I wasn't a man, I was an imposter.
I hear you.
I want to feed off what Mike said because it took me a long time, man. I was looking for my oldest daughter. 15 years went by. I kept asking this certain lady, and good thing I didn't try, you know how we guys be, I didn't try to have no intercourse and nothing with this lady. She kept saying, "Calvin, as soon as I find out, I'm going to let you know." And man, it took like almost 20 years for me to find her. But I stayed at it, and God is good, man. One day I was at the store, and I was like,
what was that?
over there in St. Paul off of Minnehaha.
Yeah.
By this car wash. And I seen this girl, but I couldn't say her name. I used to call her Kimberly. But her name was Kendra. And I seen this little girl and this little boy. This how good God is. She got a little boy. I ain't got no boys. I got all girls. I got 5 girls. She got a little boy, and her boyfriend name was Calvin. So the baby name is Calvin. But good thing, you know, I kept on, you know what I'm saying, being respectful to young ladies because I wanted to know where my daughter was. Here I am talking to my daughter, but I couldn't get her name right. So she didn't know who I was, and I didn't know who she was. Man, about 6 months later, her brother, I guess he was a little young. You know how they put them in there till they turned 18. I get to meet this girl with this young man. She say this is her brother right here. But see, if you keep on the path, God gonna show you all what you need. So 6 months later, her brother took me right to the same place. Here, this is my daughter.
Wow.
I was like, Lord, you was good. Because I kept looking, though. I kept searching. He said, if you keep searching, you will find. And I wanted that girl because I never even got a chance to see her.
Wow.
And here she is, like 19 years old. Got a kid, got his name Calvin.
Wow.
I don't have no boys. One day I'm going to get them and bring them in here before I bounce.
Yeah.
But it's so good that God is so powerful, man, if you believe in it. And I got a chance to meet my daughter, man, and she was so happy. But the only thing I don't like, she said some things, like you say, Pop, that see stuff. She said some stuff that kind of hurt my feelings. She like, I got a mind like my daddy and a body like my mama, right? But she said it in a different way. I'm not going to use the term, but it hurted my feeling for her to say this to me. Because, you know, what you do in life, other people say about you. And so some kind of way she found out that her dad was this type of person in the streets. And this is how she started thinking. I said, baby, don't say that to me. Because you hurt my heart so bad the way she said it. I said, Lord, that's why I'm changing too, because I got to be able to get them back on the track. She is good because she work a job. She work at cable. She been doing it for almost 6, 7 years. So she got some good starts in her life. She got 2 kids, and I'm loving it because I got to be able to give back to the little ones that I couldn't give to her. Like last week, they took me out to this restaurant where you can eat everything, eat it all. I'm like, wow. They see something different in their dad. So she's like, wait a minute, let me go get my dad out this nursing home. He ain't finna be here forever, but they came and got me and took me out. Matter of fact, when the photo's over, I got a picture of my little girl. My little granddaughter, she's standing on this thing. She's loving it. She's loving her grandpa because I'm doing stuff with her. Every time she see me, she runs straight to me. That's my grandpa. That make me feel good.
That's good.
That I got almost a respect thing.
Give Grandpa a hand. He's doing all right. You did, but this is what Grandpa said. I love this. He said, well, she called me something, but it hurt my feelings. It was the truth, though.
Yep.
But that's what hurt his feelings. That truth will hurt you, boy.
Sure did.
But you got to get stronger. Say stronger.
Stronger.
In the broken places.
In the broken places.
Yeah, y'all done said loud enough. But, son, you have something you want to share? The kids are in another room. Hey, Brad. The kids are in another room right now, right? Right?
Yeah, yes.
And did you want to do your report now or no? Yeah, go ahead, son. Say your name.
Yeah, my name is Darian. I just wanted to come touch bases, man, with Power of the People, because I ain't been going to church. I done missed 6 Sundays of church. Don't know how many sessions of Power of the People I done missed. I'm trying to build. I'm trying to, build some stable foundation overall, and it's kind of like on rocky land right now. So I'm just in the building stages, and everything that I acquire, I end up losing. It's getting stolen, taken. And it's only leading me back to view myself, because honestly, I had a pistol, and I'm not, as a felon, I'm not supposed to have those. But I had one, and that was my security for living on the north side of Minneapolis, and I just kept it in the house anyway. Long story short, it ended up getting stolen. And I had intentions on doing something about it, but I don't say that to say anything besides, sometimes stuff happens to us that's out of our control. And sometimes it happens for a reason. And also too, it's crazy because my brother, he's in the Word, is heavy as I'm in the Word. And I don't think it's by chance that his roommate that he was living with ended up taking his pistol. He's also a felon. He also should not have firearms. he also was using or viewing that pistol as a sense of security, and really it wasn't, you know, and that's something that we talked about. Just that false sense of security that firearm had for us, that if ever that we needed to use it, or somebody approached us with deadly intentions, that we could match that ferociousness. Well, I just come to see that, you know, that's what it is, a false sense of security. So I don't feel no kind of way not having it now. I don't feel no kind of way towards the person that took it from me. I really feel like it was a blessing in disguise, because there's no telling, you know, what I would have been willing to do with the mentality that I have and that I've grown over the years living in the situation or the circumstances of the people or the environment that I've been living in all my life. I don't know nothing else besides to keep that pistol. You know, I'm not proud to say I brought it here once or twice for my own protection, but it could never protect me like, you know, my higher power can. And I've been I just been looking at things from such a spiritual point of view lately, because these worldly thoughts, these worldly things people say, you know, the worldly things that we go through is not feeding my spirit. It's not nurturing me. It's not helping me grow. It's not delivering me no peace of mind. It's like I'm losing, you know, I just got, like, there's so much stuff that I'm going through. I could sit here and tell you, you know, I know we all going through something, and it's easy to just say, oh yeah, well, you know, I just got carjacked, and, you know, I just seen my daughter and I didn't want to give her a hug because I don't smell good. You know what I'm saying? So I'm just going through some times, man, and you know, I know we all are, and with that piece right there, you know, there can be no healing in our external world until we give intensive care and healing to our internal wounds. You know, I've been hurting. The hurt that I feel, the hurt that somebody can make me feel off a word isn't the first time that I felt that. It was the first time that it mattered. You know, the first time it happened is the first time that it really mattered, because somebody gave me those wounds that I held on internally, and I gave it back to the world. You know what I'm saying? I gave that back. When somebody shot me and robbed me, you know, I didn't like that. I didn't like that person. I didn't think that was cool. I didn't think that was okay. But what I did with those wounds was I gave them back. I went and got my first pistol. I went and got my, my first weapon of choice, and I grew a mentality off of that experience. I grew a mentality off of getting robbed, and, you know, when I was 16, or getting shot when I was 17, and, you know, all the things that I didn't want to be, I almost started to become, just based off of, you know, the things that were done to me. So we can't, I mean, you know, me and my brother Lavelle, we talk a lot, and we have deep conversations like this, and this is just something that I'm sharing with you guys, and maybe you can take it with you. We cannot allow the things that have happened to us dictate how we treat the world. You know, we may be friendly people, but we never been around kind, you know, friendly people. You know, we may be friendly, but we never been around friendly people, or, you know, or, you know, for anything for that matter, you know.
I'm just stopping right there. That's good. So that's a lot.
Yeah, it is a lot. It's a whole lot.
So if anybody has a word for the brother, I do.
I was just kind of rambling, man, because it's not many people that you can talk to, and I just wanted to expose some truth, man, because when you expose the truth, man, that's when things really come, you know, come about, man. That's when change really happen, when people just be honest and be truthful, man. You know,
I'm gonna stop you. made a point, you made your point. It's a good point. But part of what this is, though, is to be able to hear something. So let's just see if you can hear something that's helpful, responsive to the things, or some of what you laid out. Anybody?
Can I go?
So we're gonna go in order. Who was it?
Me.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Okay, go.
So,
Just say your name real quick.
I'm Jory. What I understand is you brought a pistol here to group?
That's what he said.
I mean, I have
Stop.
before.
Stop. That's what he said.
So my greatest concern with that is there's a lot of gentlemen in here that are on parole, and I think it jeopardizes our program here, because if an agent were to find out that any of us were in the room with the pistol, that might reflect real poorly on the POP program. And I mean, anything illegal, I can't be around that. Yeah, no, yeah, and I understand that. And
Don't respond. Just listen. Can you listen?
Yeah.
That's good. Somebody who's number 2.
All right. First of all, I just want to commend you coming back here, bro, to be able to find some help that we've been looking for. And you can only do that in yourself by showing up with us. And for me, man, I feel all your pain, bro. I was there. I did time from the 80s, and when I was 17, 16. I got shot when I was 12. I just said that. Sometimes we hurt, and hurt people hurt other people. And the things that's going on with you right now is you finding yourself. You finding the high power that you need to guide you. Continue to do that, you know, so you can get better. You know, try to come back here again. Because for me, I seen your face and I ain't seen you in a long time. But I welcome you back, my brother.
That's good. That's good, Cal. Very good. Number 3.
Yeah, I can relate. I was 17 when I got shot. So it's funny you said that. I didn't go nowhere without mine. And the biggest fear of mine when I left prison was, how do I function in the world without that part of my life? Because this is normal as having my cell phone on me. That's how normal it was having that with me. But this guy told me in a treatment, he was like, he said, would you rather die? He said, would you rather risk getting caught with it versus risking dying doing God's will? And as far as like the group, like, so out of everywhere in the whole city, this is like a sanctuary right here. This is the one place where you don't even, you're not under any type of threat, no funk, no nothing. That type of energy don't even exist here in this room. You dig? Like, that's not even a thought here. But I get it. But at the same time, you can't have your foot in 2 lanes at the same time. Because once you, what we used to call it in the joint, square up, you gotta square up all the way. And especially if you're living for God, you just gotta trust Him. And use those red lights like he was talking about, because and I get it, I know it's hard. Cause I looked at people when they used to tell me like, oh, I didn't want to used to hear nobody tell me, oh, you don't need a gun. You don't live the type of lifestyle I do. My enemies got guns. So you can't tell me that, you know what I'm saying? Like, so I get it. But at the end of the day, if this is a new chapter in your life, you gotta fill it with new words, man, and you gotta have a new walk. Because you can't go two different directions. You can't serve two masters.
That's good, that's good. What was next? I kind of want to hold you, save you for a minute. Anybody else want to just chime into this discussion?
So I too am a gunshot survivor, and the man that shot me left me for dead, and I had a chance to retaliate, and my chance came up like 10 different times, and I chose not to do that because I realized that I wouldn't want anybody else to feel the pain that I felt, and I decided not to retaliate. Also that I've been hearing is that you're referring to others instead of referring to yourself and using I statements. And it's important that you identify to yourself, and like for an example, for myself, I chose not to retaliate against a person.
Right.
I chose to pick a different environment to live in. I live in North Minneapolis right now, but I choose to live a peaceful life, and be polite to others and courteous, and choose not to use drugs, and choose to live a healthy life, and choose to walk in the path of the Lord. See, those are the choices that I make for myself, and I believe the first thing that you should really look at is yourself in the mirror and say, I want to live a peaceful life, and start using I statements. It's really important.
That's good. Anybody else?
I do.
Go ahead. Say your name.
I'm Dakota. I've been shot up too. And when I got shot up, like the police act like who did it. I told them I just got called and crossfire, because I ain't gonna tell them who did it, because I wanted my leg back. So, like a couple weeks later, I get a call at my grandma's house, and it's the dude investigating my case. He's like, you know who shot you. You don't want to tell us because you want to do something to him. When you do something to him, we gonna come get you. So, I was talking to an older gentleman like a couple weeks later. He was like, man, you can't kill everybody. It ain't designed for you to kill everybody. Because you would be locked up, and the people you want to get, somebody else get them for you, or some freak accident, car accident might happen. So it ain't designed for you to do what you want to do to everybody. So sometimes you got to just let go and let God.
Yes. Wow. Thank you for sharing that. Just get to your back for one second. I just want to show you something. But everybody in this room right now who has ever been shot, I want you to step. So this is more than half the room. Right? So we understand that violent piece in this room. Now whether or not, okay, thank you very much. You're young yet, and I'm glad for whatever reason we found your way here. This is amazing for the rest of the guys that are going to come in the group. But we ain't seen this brother in I don't know how long. He ain't called, and he ain't even who he is yet, But he knew today was Tuesday.
Amen. Yes, sir. Amen.
And just by him knowing that today was Tuesday, he knew there was a meeting here today.
Somebody love on him.
I just want y'all to understand the power of that. You can be living in whatever you're living in. Tuesday rolls around. It's got a voice unto itself. Thank you all who are here for making Tuesday mean something to an absentee participant, as well as to my own self, who I need the group as much as anybody in here. And any time that I didn't make it on Tuesday, I have some kind of something. I feel some kind of way about not being here. I ain't gonna I'm not gonna waste your time. I am grateful just to see your face. You're alive and once a living.
Yes.
But you're not there. You're still not there. I know, I know that you don't wanna hear that because you're really sensitive. It's hard for you to take feedback. It always has been. And I can tell that nothing has changed. So, and I'm not gonna go there. But my word is, it's clear to me, you haven't made up your mind. Until you have a made up mind, nothing is gonna change for you. The very last time you were at group, the very last time you were at group, had to be 7 months ago, something like that. You sat almost in the same chair. You talked about your relationship with your father. You were staying at your house, I think it was his house or some family member's house. There was problems with that. You was trying to work and pay them. You were struggling, da-da-da, da-da-da, da-da-da. The story hasn't changed in those many months. The reason why that story hasn't changed is because you don't have a made-up mind. I'm not trying to say that to hurt your feelings, I'm just telling you the truth. And I could go on there, but I'm just going to choose not to go any further than that. In spite of that, you could come here and know that we're here on Tuesday. You're not going to get everything you need in here tonight. But if you keep coming back, I don't know why, but somehow change happens to people that show up at group. I don't know what it is. And the people that, that hit and miss, or the people that drop off, some other stuff happens. It's not my wish that it go that way, it just is. So you're welcome here. If you're hungry, we're going to get you something to eat. And just glad that you're still in the land of the living.
Well, I just wanted to kind of conclude what I was saying, because sometimes I ramble, especially with a room full of people that don't know me. I try to give you enough information to understand where I'm coming from. So I didn't say everything I said to leave it there, and it's to hear everybody tell me that they've been shot. I told you that story to tell you that that's a mentality that was wrong that I had, and I carried that gun everywhere, and it was taken from me, and I wanted to do something about it. But in that moment, I was so mad. My heart my chest almost exploded. I felt like that person left me in the streets dead. That's how I felt when that gun came up missing. But it was my spiritual thinking, my thinking with my father, that helped me understand that was for my betterment. It was for my betterment, because I knew, and it happened to my brother too. His pistol was gone. So now we're both dealing with this same problem together. It's not I'm just dealing with it by myself. My brother going through the same thing. As I'm telling him my story, he thinking about his story that he don't want to tell me. So now we both are without a pistol, but we both have this word, and this word is our sword. And if you are a true believer, and you have faith.
I am. You just talk about yourself.
And you
I have faith.
Well, when I have faith, and I know that I have faith, but we know what I mean when I'm trying to just get it out first. I might not can't get it out right, but I'm just trying to get it out. But thanks for the correction. So now that I do have faith, and I do have hope, and I'm trying not to lose this hope, because my hope was in that pistol. My hope is no longer in that pistol no more. That was my whole story.
Give a love. Give some love. Man, it's good to see your face, man. We could stay there, but let's just welcome them in and just kind of keep moving. There's a lot there. You get it? But
You don't even know, you kind of prophesied him here. Because, I don't know if anybody heard, you said, I'm kind of concerned. And you mentioned his name, that he wasn't here just last week, and he showed up this week.
It's true. And because of some of what's been happening lately to the people who disappeared. Yeah, so, you know what I mean? So that's why. It's good to see you.
Yep.
So we got some other stuff going on. Franco here is back. Franco has been locked up here for a few days. Looked like it was a month. But he, through the grace, the same grace you're describing, is operational for Franco. And so I'd like for you to share with the group kind of a little bit about what's happening with you, where all of that was.
Well, I got a parole violation for, it was my second polygraph that I failed, and I was arrested right after the failed test at my PO's office. Truth of the matter is, there were some things that I wasn't owning, and I didn't want to own them. I wasn't ready to at that time. And I went to jail. It was 15 days. And
how did that feel?
It was very unsettling, you know. There was, you know, I become proud of the life that I lived, but I had a blemish. When I said that, there was I'm not really a percentage guy, but the high percentage of me feels good about the life that I live today. You know, early on when I got out, I made some choices, and those choices were mistakes, you know, that I wanted to get different needs met, you know, connection, you know, love, anything to not be lonely, you know, anything to come out of the lonely experience of spending 3.5 years in prison, you know. That's not an excuse. That's just the way that I felt, you know, and because of that, I made choices and decisions that just reflected poor choices and decisions, you know, and, you know, I'll just be open and transparent. It was, okay, well, there were poor choices and poor decisions. Anyhow, my agent got word of them, and I just denied it, because I figured, you know, they would never know, you know. Anyhow, they would never know. A lie detector test isn't, you know, like truth. It isn't really, you know, like nobody can really tell, you know, what's true and what's not in my head. However, deception kept coming back, and these people aren't playing about that stuff, you know. I got locked up for it, you know. How it felt, though, was that I could be doing something different because my capabilities are more, but I wasn't treating myself like they were more.
That's right.
And so it was a time of a period of reflection for me. Who I say I am, does every piece match up? And in that moment, I realized that it didn't. You know, it wasn't all the way matching up. As much as I like to think that most of it was, that piece, you know, was affecting relationships that I built, obviously, because I ended up in jail. I mean, I got a job that I'm very satisfied with. You know, I feel like I belong there. You know, it's not just a job. It's a way for me to give back, but also I have a paycheck. I meet different people. You know, I have my church relationship. I have this relationship. I have just different things that I do. I volunteer at the Aliveness Project in Minneapolis. But pieces of what I was keeping were affecting those relationships from truly blossoming and truly growing.
That's good.
And so in my mind, everything wasn't matching up. And, you know, I wasn't sure what angle I would take, if I would deny everything or if I would own anything, you know. I really wasn't even contemplating owning anything because my defiance, you know, my protective factor of, you know, I don't want to own this, I'm not ready to yet. But, you know, I was fortunate enough. I got a roommate who, you know, he was, come to find out, he was also into the word, you know what I mean? And I'm a believer,
in the county jail.
In the county jail, yeah. I'm a believer of Christ, you know, and I pray, you know, all of that stuff. It's funny how things work out, though.
Give bro some love. You gotta go.
It's funny how things work out, because when I walk into the room, I was in 23-1 for like 4 days first, but when I walk into the room, the first thing this guy says is, hey man, when you pee and everything, you gotta wipe up the seat, and you know, those like giving me all these rules and stuff. I'm like, hold on, bro, you know, I did time before, you know what I'm saying? I know how it goes, you know what I mean? And he was like, anyhow, through the spirit, you know, through the common spirit of, you know, we found how to judge, you know, and just a lot of stuff came up. And anyhow, that's one moment that led to many more moments of the experience of how the end comes up. My public defender comes and sees me a few days before I have my hearing. And I tell him my spiel. I tell him, you know, I don't think it's right, this, that, the other, this is what I've been doing, whatever. He listened to everything that I had to say, and then he said, no, I'm going to ask you something, and I want you to tell me. You can choose to tell me or not to. He said, did you do it? And I look at him like, are you trying to set me up or what? You know, who are you? Where are you from? Da, da, da. And he's like, you know, you have confidentiality. You know, anything that you disclose or anything you don't disclose is never going to leave this office. And so in that moment, you know what I mean? It was a real spiritual battle, mind, body, soul. Do I really disclose what I feel, what has been holding me back, or do I not? Do I keep on rolling with it? Split second decision, you know, that I decided to tell him, you know, everything that happened. And he said, he broke it down really real. He said, you know, my advice to you is to just get it all out there. I told him, well, what about, you know, my fears? I'll go to jail for longer, this, that, and the other. He said, this is the thing about it. If you own it right now, they can't sit there and draw up a new violation for you in the spur of the moment. So he said, if you own everything right now, you'll deal with whatever you're going to deal with now. He said, you can go either way. You could go home or you could go to jail. You know, they recommend 100 days. And then he said, you wouldn't have to worry about it anymore if you disclose it now. And so I sat and I thought about that. He said, you don't have to make a decision right now, just let me know before court. He gave me free choice, you know, free will. And so I spent some time praying about it. You know, and I was already looking at some stuff in, you know, the Bible before that or whatever. And now back to my roommate. I hadn't told him everything, you know, that I put parole violation, you know. However, when I came back, you know, I said, look, man, I'm just going to tell you everything. I told him my offense, I told him the violation, I told him everything. And in that moment, it was like that confession to another person, you know what I'm saying? It was like that, the door opened up for me to understand that this is something that has been keeping me shackled. And I don't want to be shackled anymore. I want to match I want to match who I say I am with, you know, my actions, you know what I mean? That has nothing to do with the system. It doesn't have anything to do with my PO. It doesn't have anything to do with that. I want that for myself, you know what I mean? And I decided, you know, that I was just going to, I became real peaceful in that moment. You know, all the stress and all the worries before that were present. But in that moment, I became real peaceful, and I accepted whatever my fate was going to be. Whether it was going to be coming home or whether it was going to be going away for 100 days or whatever they were recommending. And so, I don't know, man, I just prayed, you know what I mean? And when the hearing came, I told my truth. I told him everything that happened. I didn't leave anything out. It wasn't easy to do because my own things that hold me back from speaking the truth in those moments, my own beliefs about the correction system, every fear that surrounds that. But I sat there and I owned it, and I didn't make any excuses. And at the end of the thing, the guy said, I'm going to release you. And he said, there's no way I can tell if you're telling me the truth or not. He said, but I do know one thing. If you don't get it all out now, I'm issuing another polygraph test. And he said that has to be done within 30 days. And so they let me out that day. I got out about an hour. It took about 45 minutes to an hour to release me or whatever. But I walked out of there. And you know what, though? I walked out of there restoring my faith because, you know, in those days leading up to that, you know, I would tell my family there's a plan A, but there's also a plan B, but on faith, I'm gonna walk out of these doors.
Well, you know, give us some love right there. We could go on a while about it, but we don't want to belabor. But Brad right here was also like your quarterback out here and managing information, and you know this is what he's good at. You know, so he really did a good job. I just want to tell you that. And you know, we actually we wrote something to your PO. I did. And, you know, I was going to read it, but I'm just not going to bother with it right now to you. But you know, even though you made some poor choices and you were trying to mask that, the guy also policed you too heavily.
I believe so too.
And so, you know, the work that you did now, maybe it's working out for the best in some ways. You realize that what's on the table now, but now I'm talking to everybody now, but this difference between being a level 1 or a level 3, there's a difference. And if you come out as a level 1, that means you did a lot of work already. And if you get treated like you're level 3, you know, that's not good. And so I really think your guy, this is just my opinion, I feel like he was, you know, managing you and correcting you. Now, it just so happened while you were in prison, or you locked up, there was just a big article that came out. We had the commissioner here. Did you know that? And we had the commissioner here, and a big article came out in the paper, Sunday paper, not maybe two Sundays ago or something like that. But over there, you know, all the agents, all of them saw it. You know, there was some energy that went through the entire system as a result of that particular article that featured what we do here, etc. That wasn't hurtful to you, and a couple other people too have benefited from that. But now I think the conditions, and you say the curfew.
So
it's real quick.
Yeah. Okay. In the hearing.
Do you have the curfew?
It's back to 10 now.
Okay. All right. And so I just need you to really understand in your bones, you know, that being totally proud of who you are and having your mouth and your words line up, it means everything. Especially if you have an overzealous agent, which I still believe you have. And I don't think he's changed because he let you out. So I'm glad he did. But I think you should really take stock now and know what that is. Another quick thing I got to say in here, real quickly. So Eugene here, when he first came in, you know, the boys were here. You know, sometimes the boys are here, but not too long. But this was his birthday. They asked me could the kids come and say happy birthday and love him. Tia, I want you to hear this. And so, so Eugene, though, in his condition, he can't have no contact. He can't be in no proximity and all of this and that. So Eugene said, well, you know, Papa, you know, he was visibly shaking, wouldn't come in the door. I'm saying, hey, what's wrong with you? And he's like, so, you know, here's my condition. Hey, son, I got this, you know, am I okay? He said to me. I'm putting this out here because this stuff is important. So you could, Eugene, potentially have a lie detector test, like he's talking about. And potentially that would say, have you had any contact? Have you been in any contact with a minor, blah, 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 blah. And this is what you say. Look at me. Yes.
Yes.
Unexpectedly, there was a birthday party at my meeting for one of the staff members for his son, and we sang happy birthday. Period. They're not there all the time. This is just, it was his birthday. You sing happy birthday, and the guy left. That's your response if you are asked to take a lie detector test, you tell the truth. Then you're also supposed to really actually right away call and say, hey, you know what? I just want you to know this. Last night at the group, unexpected, there was a birthday party for one of the staff members. His son was there, we sang happy birthday, and he left. I will call him after you or before you and say the same thing. So that way, you know, we have nothing for you to be hiding. But this is partly what we are dealing with here. That there are times when, you know, where each of us have different conditions, and we have to be obedient to those conditions in some ways and be thoughtful. I need to be thoughtful about the conditions of release that you face, and it's my responsibility to make sure you're safe here and that those conditions are being met. Is that understandable? You good? You know what to say? Yeah. Okay, good. That's the truth. Give him a hand for that. I needed for you to hear that too. And then hey son, you all right?
Yeah, I've been working on the car all day since this morning.
I'm
tired.
I'm checking on you there. You look a little different to me. I'm just checking on you. So that's the situation. And then Brad right here, I just want y'all to just give Brad a couple of minutes here because he really helped Franco in a big way, you know, as a friend, you know, and a brother and a pop guy and all this stuff. You know, he was just right there. And actually, I could call Brad and get the latest from you, or get the latest this and that, and call me and have a conversation, you know, about our issues. And it's just important to be able to have somebody like that. So go ahead and let you.
Yeah, what I have to say is that the spirit of camaraderie and the spirit of likeliness is critical as we move forward. And I did what I did because I believe in Moses.
Sure.
And what I want to say is that we each need to be proud of who we are and our worthiness to do the right things. And when you do the right things,
when I do,
you get the result and you own what you do. And so through what I was doing on his behalf was huge for my own recovery and where I am. And I'm proud of where I am now in this situation. And so that message is something that if each of you have the opportunity to carry it out, you're all worthy of that. I'm worthy of that.
Well, give Brad some love. Very effective, and you know, he was managing furniture and the case at the same time, and I loved it, and it was great. And then the other good news, and we're gonna move on. The other good news is his employment opened up and let him come back to work. He didn't lose his job, and that's beautiful, man. Make it work now. Make it work. A couple quick things. One, this is on the lighter level. Not yesterday, it was Monday, but Saturday, Pop Guys, we took Pop Guys and some of the kids down to the convention center for the NCAA Fun Fest. And man, it was a blast. I think we had 20 of us. We had an absolute fucking good time. Shooting hoops. And you know, Lil Dion is not here. Lil Dion and Terrence Peaches, Dion begged Terrence Peaches, can I be the one? You know Lil Dion, can I be the one to go out there and shoot these hoops? And they both wanted to go out there and show what they could do. They was all getting all, you know, they was all mannish about it, you know. And Lil Dion said, no, baby, you know how you do. He said, no, I'm gonna hit. I'm gonna hit it, baby. And that boy went out there and shot up everybody. they got some music, you know, they got some sound effects. And you should have seen, and Dion, he just put his head down and just strolled on back to the sideline, you know, like the coach had just taken him out of the game. I don't think Terrence never did get a chance. I actually got some pictures from it, but when I went to pick them up, they hollered that they wasn't ready yet. Supposed to be ready yesterday. Walgreens was having a slowdown of some kind, I don't know. Anyway, I'll get them, I have next week. But anybody who went, if you want to just share a little bit about it, just holler out real quick.
Well, I went down there and everything else, and I had sent Pops a couple of pictures.
Right over there.
I had sent Pops a couple of pictures and everything else. And that was one of the best times I had with my three of my grandsons, and they 14, 15, and 13. And we had a time. We had a time. They looked, granddaddy, and then just for me to sit on the streets and play chess with one of them. I didn't know he knew I played chess.
Wow.
We played a game of chess while the other one shot hoops. And it was just like I just felt like I was coming into my grown man.
Mm-hmm. Wow, that's good. Congratulations. Somebody else.
I had a young man. The young man I had last week was a foster care child, and he was so happy. He was so happy that he came, and then he got some kind of towel that said NCAA. And so when he walked into the beauty shop, you know, he took his towel out, you know, he walked in like this. I had got his hair cut for him. So he walked in with his towel so everybody could say, oh, you went there? Oh, yeah. He was so happy. He even, and I want to thank y'all. I want to thank you for buying him up. He said they were so nice to me, Miss Lowe. They bought me tacos and we had all kind of stuff. Can I come spend the night at your house again?
I want to thank you, man, you know, personally, and everybody else who had anything to do with helping that young man have a good time like they're talking about there. Because he did look, you know, boosted up when he got ready to go, and you know, had a good time, and we got him on pictures, so we'll give you some of the pictures. We got enough for everybody who want one. But we went in the van, you know, so anytime you go do an outing, you know, in the van, it's fun, man. It's like you're going camping or something, you know. So road trip. Road trip. Yeah, I don't know nothing about camping. Field trip. I'm the wrong one to take you there. You know? But anyway, we about 50 in the van. We go down there, man, and just have a blast, man. And Minneapolis had their stuff together, man. The convention center was fun. Stuff for everybody to do. You was there. Everybody had a good time. Will, what you get? What you got? Richard, what you got? Anything?
I'm curious, what happened to Calvin? What happened to Calvin?
You getting peeled back?
I had a good time. I had a really good time. It was a blast. It was a blast.
Yeah, you have fun?
I had so much fun. It was cool. I had to go ahead and put it on your grandson. We played a little shooting game. Them young boys, they always seem to think they can beat up on the older guys. You know what I mean? So every once in a while, you got it. Yeah, it was a shooting game. It was fun, but yeah, he's a good kid. He's a really good kid. So it was just a really good time. But yeah, I saw Calvin, and like 5 minutes later, he just wasn't around no more. He was eating with us.
Willie Lynch was too busy ignoring my text messages watching the championship.
Yeah, he's dunking on him.
Watch this.
I share with y'all what happened to Cal. I was sitting at my table by myself. All these guys were sitting at the table, so a couple people came up. They was like, "Could I sit here?" Well, sure. Why not? Then all of a sudden, this young lady popped up. I don't know who she is. but she wanted me to show her a little bit around me. So I'm thinking like, well, you know, if people come to restaurants to me, I might as well hang out. Because I'm glad that somebody from a whole nother state had trust in me to come to me.
Oh, that's great.
But she tripped me off because I was on my way back to where Popman was sitting at. And everybody had to left the table, we got through eating. I looked around, she right behind me. I'm like, wait a minute, what's going on? Somebody's stalking me. But then she was like, well, I was just trying, and then I said something. I said, well, you know, you want to go walk around, look at, no, I'm trying to learn how to code again.
I seen it about 5 times fast enough.
Hey, did you see how he had that limp?
It was like, you see, I see him. So I'm like, hey, there you go.
But she just came up to me. I was like, wow. This is crazy. I guess I still got to catch this.
Salt and pepper dread.
He said, I ain't riding back with you.
Pop said, Cameron, where you at? I said, oh, I'm over here on the other side. Pop said, when you run back with us?
I'll have to drop me off on Tuesday.
I know that's I did have, you know, I had my son and grandson, both my boy and my grandboy are special needs children. Saran, he's 18, and Cornelius Manning, he's 17. And so, man, these guys had an amazing time. And Duval really partied them off. You know, Duval just kind of, you know, put his own thing aside and kind of just rolled with us. And he just really got them involved and everything. It was so nice, man. You know, I'm gonna tell you, man, you just got such a gift there because you got some natural joy in you, and the kids will gravitate toward. And Duval, so my one grandson, who's 18, Saran, he's trying to shoot basketball. You know, you only have one hand that's working. This other hand is not working. And so, you know, I never seen him shoot. But he be telling me that he can shoot. But I had never seen him shoot. And so then they had all these cool announcers. These announcers was cracking on everybody, man, you know, at every station. These are some brothers. Man, these brothers was cracking on people. And so we messed around, man, and the brother said, Saran said, oh, I want to shoot, I'm ready, I know I can hit. And the brother said, man, I know you can't hit nothing. And man, and turn around and call him for somebody else. You know, this is special needs boy. I said, hey man, and it's hard, you know, I mean, I can't take any hits for him. I just gotta sit there and man. Saran turned around with his good hand and said, figured out a way to and then with real nice rotations.
Bam!
Man, this thing, look, boom! Everybody that was around that heard old boy crack on him, everybody erupted like, you know, the Super Bowl. And the dude said, then I got on him then, you know, because then I can find a way to crack back on it. I said, you see what you got there, boy? So I didn't see, he got to do it again. Both Cornelius, I know can shoot. He got a hoop in the back. So he can shoot all day. He can hit hoops all day. But man, them guys had such a good time. I want to thank you for it. But we made a little video. This is Duval's doing. I didn't have nothing to do with it, but we got the little video on tape. We're going to try to show you. So you ain't going to be able to see it on that little phone he got.
But the video was going in?
So you go into a Buick. So Buick is they involved. You get into a Buick. You got it?
I ain't got that. No.
Okay. And so
Wayne.
What's wrong with you? Send the video.
I sent it to you and
Okay. So look, you get in the video, and then while you in the car, brand new Buick, the car it plays music and takes a video of you while you in there.
Wow.
And what was the name of it? So we did the pump it up.
It's been that long, Cornelius 17?
Yeah.
Wow.
Wow, man, she's up there. Growing up.
Yeah, I think this is
Okay.
There'll be a video link in the email tonight.
Huh?
I'll put a video link on it.
Look.
This where you got that finger from.
Yeah.
Because I'm like, where did you get that
Look, I wish you could have seen that Cornelius went into a shape. Anyway, man, we had a blast. Everybody who went, we hadn't had an outing like that in a while, and it was really a good time. We really had a lot of fun, and it was a beautiful thing. I know y'all are busy, and it's hard to get everybody connected at one time, but in terms of business, we do have a function coming up on May the 2nd. Is it May the 2nd? On May the 2nd, we're supposed to be having a panel discussion. Can Tia come and explain it? Just so y'all know, to get this down. We're just talking about the May the 2nd event. Can you tell us a little bit about it?
It's May 2nd. It's in regards to the Restore the Vote for fellas. Pop, I sent you the email. I don't know if you got it or not. And we probably need, I know Peaches said it's a panel discussion. It's gonna be at the Minnesota African American Heritage Museum over on Plymouth Penn in the Thor building.
When have you been over there last? When have you been there last?
Last weekend. So that's pretty much gonna be the premise of it. We probably want maybe 4 guys to participate on the panel. It'd be cool if Cedric could narrate or moderate.
So Cedric is the person, the attorney who goes to the church I attend, New Hope, who moderated a function that we had at the church a while back. But I don't think we're being descriptive enough. The idea is that the museum is there, and we've never been there. That's A. And so B, we want to utilize that space that talks about the history in some ways to talk about this notion of the restoration of voting rights for felons, which has been done in 14 other states. Is that right? That's right. And so to that extent, we want to have a discussion about that. But I don't think we've been given much thought, and I could be wrong, as to then who are we really talking to, ourselves, or do we want to are you inviting politicians who may have a voice in this, or what?
No, we were gonna try to keep this kind of in-house, well, at least as far as the speakers.
Yeah, in the audience, I mean.
Oh, in the audience, she's gonna post it, and so.
Yeah, that's not good enough. So we need to be specific, target specific people in an email asking for their participation in the discussion, so that the audience is able, someone there is able to move the discussion forward. That's A. Secondly, we got to quit wasting these conversations, so it needs to be videotaped. So Wayne, what I want you to do is figure out how you can get the videotape equipment working and in good condition, so that you can videotape the event, then put the whole thing back on the TV network so that everybody else who wasn't there, don't know a jack about it, can hear or see or get involved. But what we're trying to do is build momentum from the thing, and momentum is built by getting more people to know about it than who know about it right now. All right?
What time is it today?
It's from 5:30 to 7:30.
And so what I need you to do is get this Wayne to get it to Wayne so Wayne can throw it out to everybody. And then who's on the panel that you know of right now?
Me, Peaches, I know I asked Richard.
Mm-hmm. That'll be good. Are you on there?
I thought I already put it on my calendar. What day is it again?
May 2nd.
May 2nd. I thought we were yeah, I got it already 5:37.
Okay. Yes. Okay. So then, son, what about having Darius moderate and then bringing the ACLU as a part of the and the people who you've already gathered? There's already been a meeting. I think you coordinated a meeting of 4 other entities that were all working on this.
We were working on a technical violation.
Oh, that's right. That was a technical violation. So, so you all have something else going about this, the restoration of voting rights?
What? That's a NICA.
Okay. So can you coordinate maybe with the NICA to see if there's a way to utilize this or partner with it? So
yeah.
that
So I could just say that Restore the Vote will partner with it.
So then what we want to do is try to build some kind of, some synergy here. And we got to take some leadership in it. I'll be in the prison, and so I'm letting y'all, you make it happen. We're sanctioning this thing, and we're going to try to have all pop guys on deck and everything. But beyond us, we can sit here and talk about Restore the Vote all day, but if we don't have the right stakeholders inside who can help drive the agenda forward, then we just be, kind of wasting our time in some way. So talking to the choir. So this is what we got to put some thought into, so that we're not, operating in some silo somehow.
Have you guys had like planning meetings and all of that stuff already?
No, not really. We really just, I can give you a scope of the questions and, the criteria what we're going to be asking.
I think it might be good to just put on the calendar a planning meeting and then, get it on our calendar and get some of us all together so that we can sign some stuff up and, get some other partners to the table.
So, so let's say, just be really realistic, we probably might be able to get one meeting before that time, possibly 2, or then you can do phone, phone links and get everybody in. So you got to coordinate. I got it. Okay. And let's make this happen because it is a huge thing. Anybody got a question or want to comment, or is Will on the panel there, or Will, are you interested in being on there?
I do it. Helps. I mean, it's a cause. Of course, it's a cause that's near and dear to us. So I definitely do it. I don't have an issue with it. I do it. You remember we had you remember the one we did? We did some where we spoke at Capitol Hill about that. How long was that ago?
That's good 4 years ago, but we started it out. We was driving it way back then.
Yeah, we did. I wonder what happened to all the momentum.
No, it's not. I mean, this is what is happening now.
But hey brother, if you need me on there, then I definitely.
Let's try to get, I think the state rep from here, the state dean, the state senator from here, he should be aware of it. It's, this and that. Yeah, Bobby Joe and, this and that. So you got.
I can give you all their phone numbers.
So I mean, that's big piece. Yeah, it's bigger than just us. I mean, we need to You know, so are you supposed to go to the Capitol this week or tomorrow or today or when you going?
Tomorrow.
To talk about this?
Absolutely.
So, I mean, and there
What
you are.
time?
So we pull that,
10.
pulling that back to this and keeping it going. And then what we'd like to do is maybe set up a, if we could get on KMOJ on their little television, radio show, to talk to the sister, Lissa. Her show is really the only, you know, get on her show to talk about it. We can maybe get some more interest. And what I'd like to have is more people than the place can hold. And how many can a place hold? Well, 100 is a lot of people, so we can do that. You know, let's figure out how to make that happen. All right. So, anybody got questions or thoughts about that? Okay. We got one more thing.
And then Pop,
Go ahead.
real quick, a man came in today from this place called Marsden Building Company. He expressed that he had a lot more jobs than he had people, and you know, he said this is basic building maintenance, just emptying trashes, this and that, cleaning floors or whatever. And he said that they start off at like anywhere between like, don't quote me, but I think he said full time starts off at like between like 15, 16, something like that. And I asked him, of course, about the criminal record and all that stuff, and he said, well, you know, we go back 7 years, blah blah blah, and you know, and then he came back and said it's on a case by case basis. I was like, well, you know, our guys, you know, some of them have conditions in their backgrounds. But I said, also, our guys have gone through extensive leadership training, in some cases for years. And then, you know, our guys are much more than what's on a piece of paper. And
what's the next step?
He, you know, I actually had to end up going into a story about me, letting him know who he was talking to, you know, a little bit about me, and he was just, you know what, I'm so excited to work with you guys, and long story short, he's looking forward to, you know, getting a couple names and working with a couple guys. So really, all we got to do is really just apply. And the reason why I like it is because a lot of guys, they come home and they want to do this back-breaking work. Some of the guys, some of us over a certain age, you know.
Some of us have broken backs.
Yeah, you know what I'm saying? And this is more, and no, don't get me wrong, we do it, we got to do it, you know. But, you know, for guys who might not want to break their back, this might be a good look. So I got the info, and then we set up a blog too, on WordPress. So all of the jobs and all of the employment information, employability, job readiness, resume stuff. It's gonna be all on the blog. I'm meeting with Terry Austin next week. And another thing, I want all the guys to, I want us to be a little bit more, I want our digital literacy to be up, instead of us just coming home and like getting a job, which is cool. But a lot of these jobs, the minimum that you need is some type of basic computer experience. I don't know how everybody feel about that, but I know that even myself to benefit from it. I mean, it can't hurt, and it's something, you know, to add to the resume anyway. So in the future here, we're gonna have somebody coming through here teaching digital and financial literacy for the guys to, you know, help us out. So,
well, that's good. Give them a little love.
I could do computer classes. I could do computer classes.
Oh, well, there we go.
He was doing this.
We the help we've been waiting.
So, did Mike Fox, where Mike Fox go to?
Right there in front of you.
Mike Fox, check in, man. We know Mike Fox to move from the pop house. I don't know where he moved to. Give Mike Fox a hand. He's on his own. What you doing?
Kind of hotter than
Not now, man.
My name Mike Fox. I don't know, even though he said it twice. I'm doing all right. I'm fit to go to Chicago and get my daughter. And I just, I was just going ahead and hit the fan. I'm moving out of the state. I'm going to Massachusetts. I'm doing a year down there. I already, did my research and everything.
Taking your daughter with you?
I'm taking her with me, but not right away, but when I get back, I'm gonna come back and get her. I'm just going down there to do the resume. I mean, not the resume, but put in for the jobs and everything, and go and put my name out there and everything, so I can go and have something when I come back for her. When I get back with her, let me say it like that.
When you leave?
So I'm leaving on the 14th, Sunday.
Wow, that's amazing, man.
So I'm just...
Give him some love. Well, what's that girl's name you going with?
Tiffany,
Miss Tiffany.
Yeah, Miss Tiffany. She been rocking with me since November. So,
She all right?
Yeah, she's.
Yeah.
So I just gotta stick to the goals I've been writing when I was over there. I was writing down everything I'm gonna do when I get there. You know what I'm saying? So I wrote that down too. Wendell wrote that down because I think that's something that I was struggling with for the last about 4 months. Wow. Not seeing what I'm doing and other people seeing what I'm doing. So I've been taking that to the heart. So because I need that for my daughter.
Right.
And, I really need it for myself, but it's basically really for my daughter because she's gonna be in my care. And I don't want to be no bad example. Because I have an opportunity to, I had, and I still have, and I'm taking not a different approach. I'm taking the approach that I came out with, and just to get me better. You know what I'm saying? I don't want to take no doctor, no pills, nothing. I want to do it on my own. So I got another set of your books. To refresh my memory. I took a picture of that to remind myself. I already got the 1 through 6 down. I already had them in my notes from prison. So I just been going over that, putting it back in like I was. So I'm starting from the root of the changing myself and the root of, like that D was saying about that's inside of you. Can't really say words that quick, but the stuff that's inside. So I'm tackling that too to change that. So.
Wow. Give him some love. Yeah, that's some big news. You know what I mean? It's, making that news. That's a big news. We got love for you. And,
I'm sorry, Sid. But if my break is if I work, my break is on like a Tuesday and I can call in, I'm gonna try to call in every Tuesday.
oh, that'd be great.
Just to,
check in.
just to,
Mike, that'd be great, man. I just want personally, living under the pop roof, you and I work together on the paper route, it talks about some of everything. You're not a lazy brother. You know how to work. And I know that. You gotta move other things out of the way because you got it. And you can really do it. And I know you can. So I wish the best for you, nothing but the best. And we ain't gonna ever turn our back on you, so you just need to know that. Nobody in this room is perfect. We make mistakes, but what we talked about earlier today was, can you get stronger in the broken places?
Right, and I wrote that down too, that
somebody say stronger. Stronger. Broken places.
Broken places. Yeah, I want to create my own red light. So.
That's right.
I do. That's another thing. Like I really took heed to about that. I'm like, if I can stop myself I can be able to be more, I guess, you know, based on relationships, like know how to communicate with people more better.
It's true.
In the workforce, because that's one of the bigger things I struggle with.
It's true, man. You know, people don't owe you nothing, and you're talking to everybody now, you know, they don't owe you nothing. They're not your family. You know, it's just they're leasing you out for 8 hours or whatever. If it's just a job that you're trying to use to get from A to B, you don't have to make it political. You don't have to take everything personally. You know, you can do it, man. Maybe a change of pace can help you. At the same time, just remind you that the pace, the East Coast pace is a little faster. You know, just, you know, everything, mass transit, everything is a little faster. So, you know, just pay close attention. You already know this, but I'm just saying, pay close attention to what you need to pay close attention to. And then, Ms. Lolita, what you got?
I just want him to have, I just want the best for him. I just want it to be God-led. I just want to make sure that it's of God. Because I care about everybody. But I love him. He's like my son, because he's so stupid and so crazy, and I mean fussing at him all the time.
Right.
I just don't want him to make a bad decision.
My Lord. Good. I feel it. We ain't gonna speak nothing up at this second, but let's just have a quick word of prayer for Mike as he goes forward. Will you be at group next week?
I'm leaving Sunday, let's come.
So let's do it. Father, we just give you praise for Mike Fox. He's your son and you know him. We thank you now that his steps will be ordered of you. That Mike won't move to the left or to the right despite what others he may meet might do. That he might know his own self in the midst of these and prosper because of his relationship with you and because of the prayer coverage that we are putting over him even tonight. Yes. As we call on you, oh God, that you might send one of your mighty angels to go forward and break ground for Mike Fox, and that he might find relationships and his smile could be bright, and that his attitude would be quickened, and that he would have joy, and a stranger might come and provide for him and make a way for him, and that allow for him to be prosperous in his new venture. Bless him tonight as he goes. We bless his daughter. Father God, we cover her now in the blood of Jesus and ask that you would bless this young family as they tarry to get to their next level. We call it out right now and call it done in Jesus' name. Somebody in here shout amen. Amen. Give us some love. Well, that's oh my goodness, my goodness, my goodness, my goodness, my goodness. That's Mike Fox right here. We also got some, we're moving on now, we also got some the reentry form coming up. That's this month. This month, on the 30th of April. Take one of these. That's going to be on Tuesday, right? So on Tuesday the 30th, everybody who can be at this function will be there. And for those people who can only come to group on Tuesday, then come to group. And then I'll be here. Eugene, I think, where are you at? Be out in the hallway. But I'll be here for those people to take this. So group in some ways is going to be doing two things on the 30th. How many things we're going to be doing? Two. When are we going to do it? Thursday. On the 30th, yes. And then one thing is that many of us are going to be participating in this panel, and those who aren't participating are going to be in the audience on the 30th. But there's some of us who are, as a part of your release conditions, you have to come to group right here. Group is still going to be taking place right here at the normal time. So don't, if you know this, you can't do this yet, Don't feel bad about it, just come on the group, and then we're gonna have our own discussion right here, all right? Everybody got that?
Yes, sir.
But here is a few people, you know, here's Mr. Earl Conley. I wanna know, it says Life Rebuilders, but I don't think he works for them no more, does he, Will?
He's still there, but he got another job too.
Okay. So I don't understand, I want to get a better idea. But Will, that's right.
Yeah, you're on Broadway.
Will is gonna be the moderator and a discussion moderated by the Power of People Leadership Institute. And give him a big hand. And what we're going to be talking about is ending housing barriers to our returning neighbors. Ending housing barriers, say barriers. Barriers. To our returning neighbors. What's one barrier that needs to be ended to housing that you could think of right off the bat? Anybody?
Felony.
Redlining, what does that mean?
That you're discriminatory black against white. You know, we're putting certain ethnic groups in certain areas.
And that's redlining is even a deeper dynamic in some ways, because you know we just not getting in some neighborhoods without a felony.
Right.
I don't hear nobody. But anyway, that being as it may, you what's another barrier? Somebody shout it out.
Past history.
Income.
So let's just take income. Income is a big barrier to finding housing. You know, so, and then people don't want to rent to people who aren't working. The idea, this is the myth. If you're on some kind of assistance, somehow you're lazy, you don't want to work, and you won't take care of the property. This is the myth. You won't take care of the property, you know, this and that. That's right. And so that's a barrier. What's another one?
Just knowledge of even knowing how to even go apply and go get some rent, or go find somewhere to rent from.
There. Now that's huge right there. You know, because we have talked about felony friendliness, but I know I've used that felony friendliness. I never got one hit on it. I've been doing it for 15 years. This is me. I've been at it for 15 years. I never got one hit off the felony friendly list.
Right.
Meaning the housing.
Right.
I stopped using that. I don't even pay it no attention. So what we could do as an outcome of this is to kind of restart up, dismiss that list as being, you know, as de facto, you know, and de jure, you know what I mean? We just gonna go on and do another list and begin to gather housing, and so in that way, you may want to invite to this landlords and or just straight up landlords who can hear our plea and will open up the whole building to just us and then allow us to provide the management. I'm just trying to give you some thinking. I'm just trying to give you some thoughts. You get it? So that we're there to a place where, you know, somebody just say, hey, I want to give them the whole building. All I want from you is my money. Well, I want to know that guy. You know what I'm saying? All right, cool. You get it? So now, that's one thing. Give me another barrier. Come on.
Rental history.
Okay, look right here. Rental history. That's an important barrier.
Say that again, Pops.
Rental history. And you know what? That's the one barrier that to me has merit. Because here's what I found out from renting to people myself. If you don't have no rental history, or you never lived with nobody but your mama, I'll wait for all the amens to die down. You know, or listen, or your woman who you treating like she's your mama. I'm waiting for all this. So watch this. Then you don't really know how to manage the property because it's her place. The lease is in her name. She pays all the bills. You got cable because she's paying the cable bill. You're driving her car and all of this and that. And so as soon as you guys have some kind of domestic where she's finally tired of the fact that you're not working and hasn't found the correct way to tell it to you, and then y'all having a discussion, getting loud, and then you rear up, and she never really seen that from you before.
911.
What the?
That's the second man down in one group.
Yeah, and so, you know, so then here we go, now we got issues, you know what I mean, the whole 9 yards. Here's another issue, is we living with people who are already on Section 8 or on subsidized housing who can't have you on their lease, but you stay too long, and all these kind of- So these are issues that we have to grow up from. Say grow up.
Grow up.
You didn't get it. See, in some cases, it's the woman. The woman, that she had her own place since she was 20. But we don't have nothing. We just living with chick to chick. Is that right or wrong?
That's right.
I can hear you.
Right.
It's right but wrong.
You know, it's right but wrong. So it took a long time. It takes a long time for you to break out of some of those habits. You know, right now you're a man. You're living in your own place, and you're on the lease. Raise your hand.
What you say?
You're a man. You living on. You're making your own money. You got your name on the lease. It's your place. Somebody else got to get out. You got to raise your hand. I mean, this is powerful.
I'm married. I'm married.
Listen to what Will said.
Somebody else got to get out.
I'm married. Can't nobody going nowhere.
You can get out forever, but just
They go for a ride.
Go for a ride. Sometimes get out just means go to the Dairy Queen. Go to the Dairy Queen, he said. Well, what we're talking about is housing barriers, but these are barriers. Anger, that's a barrier. That we never talk about. Because here comes the guy asking for his rent, but you're offended because that's how you are, you know, and then, you know, you cussed him out about his money, and, you know, and so we got some barriers. Well, we need, on April 30th, we're going to send this out to you so that you got it on email and everything too. But for those people who can be, you don't have to be at group. Some people have to be here at 5:30, call in when they get here, leave at a certain time, have to call when they leave. Those people know who they are. We're going to still be right here on Tuesday. But the rest of y'all, group on that night is at this location. All right?
All right.
That's good. All right, I think it's time for us to get out of here. Am I missing something, anything? Somebody need?
I got a question.
Go ahead.
How my brother turned out down there, because last week he was struggling.
Oh, yeah, no, that's good. That's a good question. And let me also say before we get to that, because Woody, I mentioned that Woody was all jacked up.
He was on vacation.
Yeah, he was on vacation. Boy, he really had one too, but he was also suspended from providing service. Indefinite, it was all over. So we were a permanent suspension. So we were able then to get that turned around, and then as of June 1st, he would be reinstated. You have to go back through the training. Did you get the letter? Yeah, I want you to bring me that, so I'll bring a copy of it. He's back reinstated, this and that, which is why I was asking you what your letter said, because there was a appeal time. If they terminated you forever, you had some days to appeal. I needed to know whether or not you appealed or did anything.
No, I did not. I know I didn't. Because I remember I talked to you and you said we just won't do nothing. We're just going to kind of let that.
What I meant by that, I spoke too soon. But what I meant by that was don't try to raise any red flags.
Well, yeah.
However, I hadn't read the letter, so I may have spoken incorrectly, and I own that. But we're going to be able to still get by that this one time. But we're not going to be able to open up that door all the time. So if it comes up again, some of the rest of y'all here, we're going to get you a pass to be able to come in and out of the prison. If you're coming in and out of the prison, then you can't be on a guy's visitor list.
Right.
You can't be taking phone calls from him too. Right? You can't do a three-way. Say a three-way. Three-way. You can't do a three-way, and you cannot think that the people ain't listening, because they listening. I'm just going out. They listen.
So you're telling me that you got that?
Not yet, but I'm going to.
Okay.
But I can just tell you I'm going to have to go through some stuff because we didn't appeal it. So I'm going to still go through the stuff. We're still going to get where we got to go. We are on task to meet with Stillwater, my wife and I, about going into Stillwater. We meet with them on the last Friday of this month. And I'm bringing with me a list of names of people who I want to also include as my resident trainers, right? Now we'll get them all approved so that you can come in and out per our relationship and agreement and help teach the class. What I'm trying to do is ultimately turn the class over to other pop guys. Each pop guy, take 2 pop guys in each prison, taking each prison so that way then I can ease out, but Pop didn't ease out. I can ease out, but the training didn't ease out.
Yeah.
And so this is what we're trying to do. Now we're trying to set this in motion by starting with what I'm calling Pop 2.0 in Stillwater. And we need some guys there who have had the experience of reciprocity. Now you're trying to give something back. So nobody can complain or say, y'all don't know. They'll say, oh, brother, you're saying you don't know. That is, it's true. I've been removed from it for a long time. Now I'm back in there. I'm in the prison every day. You get it?
Yeah.
But in terms of, for me personally, I've been removed from it for a long time. The whole number. And for me to get removed from it, I decided that I was done. And when I decided that, because I'm a strong-willed, strong-minded person, I don't know about nobody else in here, but if I make up my mind to do something, that's it. If I tell you right now, we get ready to do this, that, and the third, it's getting ready to happen. And ain't nobody in here who could say, I'm telling you a lie. And I have to say that out loud so we get what we're talking about here. Now, I take this stuff seriously. What we're doing is serious. We're saving lives. We're changing lives. What we're doing is serious. But I believe, man, that if there's no reciprocity of leadership, meaning if the leadership doesn't turn over, if we don't create new leaders and replace ourselves, then that means we don't really understand the process, that you're on some kind of an ego trip and that the whole thing has been about you the whole time. And I'm not going to wear that. You get it? And so I'm just saying, no, we're gonna go ahead and pass this thing off. And so slowly, when you get to seeing how we hit, we just have one prison, it's 1 day a week. There's a lot of other stuff that go on outside the prison, but that training will become something to you because it was something to you in the jump.
That's all understood. Go ahead. Carlene, remember here, Carlene? A little light-skinned young man.
Okay.
His mother called.
Okay.
She wanted to come to group
wow.
last week.
The mom?
Yeah, the mom.
Oh, wow.
But then I kept trying to reach out to her. She hasn't hit me back yet.
Okay.
You know who I'm talking about?
No, I can't think of who.
It's a little light-skinned young man.
Okay.
Always befriend somebody. Somebody I took in Brooklyn Park.
Right.
And his mother.
I can't think. But come on, make it happen.
I've been trying.
So anybody got any other one thing that we missed? Franco, it's great to see you.
Yes, great to see you.
Anybody got something we missed? Nate, you all right?
Yeah.
We working hard?
Man, well, I did a rear engine seal on a Suburban today. It was
But you get that money?
Yeah, I got the money.
Give him the hand for the money.
There you go. On my birthday in 10 days, y'all.
Huh?
My birthday in 10 days.
What we gonna do?
I don't know, but
He said, well, I don't know, but gotta get the phone to. Come on. Now you going to work till you clean it up tonight? Yeah. All right, you going to get it up. Come on,
I'm all covered in oil, so I'm not gonna.
You know what? I missed something. I'm gonna give you a little heads up. Come on, man. I missed something.
I'm all covered in oil.
No, we coming in. We don't have it. Everybody's got some oil on them.
I'm like,
come on. Hey, listen. On the last Tuesday of May, the Deputy Commissioner of Corrections is Sarah Walker. She's the Commissioner of Facilities. That means she's over all the prisons per se and their operations. She's who Sohag was, right? And so she done heard about us and this and that. She wants to come along with our contract manager. We've had a contract manager for a long time. No contract manager I know of ever comes outside of DOC. It's a numbers person. So you gotta put your arm around somebody else. So don't just you. But watch this. So she wants to come too. It's pretty amazing. So anyway, they're going to be here on the last Tuesday of May, and I'd like to have the full house on that day. more people too, but I can't think of people now. I will.
I will.
Balance my family values.
Balance my family values.
My goal.
With my goals.
Okay, let's just stop right there and think about what does it mean to set a goal? Just one small goal. One thing, one goal is one thing you will do. The other goal is one thing you will not do. Get in there, jump in. See, one thing that you will not do is a red light. And the one thing you will do, that's a green light. And you have to give yourself permission, energy, courage, right, and desire to do the thing that the green light says do. And you have to give yourself permission, strength, desire, willpower to not do the thing the red light says don't do. Those are goals. And when you set those goals forward, then you are accomplishing something with your time. Otherwise, if you have no goals, time doesn't matter. What difference does time make if you're never going to catch the plane? Oops. Just think about it. If you're going to catch a plane, you're going to have to set a goal. Otherwise, the plane is going to leave without you. It's just that simple. Right? I will.
I will.
Balance my family values.
Balance my family values.
With my own goals.
With my own goals.
Because I have goals.
Because I have goals.
If I don't have goals, I'm going to begin to set them.
I'm going to begin to set them.
It may be small right now.
It may be small right now.
But when I get my confidence up,
When I get my confidence up,
look out.
Look out.
I will.
I will.
Exercise wisdom.
Exercise wisdom.
What I choose to eat.
What I choose to eat.
Read. And do.
And do.
I will.
I will.
Strive to make all my relationships.
Strive to make all my relationships.
Win-win.
Win-win.
No deal.
No deal.
I will.
I will.
Under every circumstance.
Under every circumstance.
Maintain a positive attitude.
Maintain a positive attitude.
Yeah, what's important about maintaining a positive attitude is just you seeing the glass half full versus always seeing it half empty. And everything is negative, and it always rubs you wrong because you can't see yourself in it. You have to elevate yourself. You have to lift yourself up. Make yourself happy about something. I don't hear that. I will.
I will.
Under every circumstance.
Under every circumstance.
Maintain a positive attitude.
Maintain a positive attitude.
It's hard to do, but not impossible.
It's hard to do, but not impossible.
It was quiet in there. I will.
I will.
Enjoy my life.
Enjoy my life.
With a sense of humor.
With a sense of humor.
Taking advantage of opportunities.
While taking advantage of opportunities.
Learning from my misfortune.
Learning from my misfortunes.
I will.
I will.
Act upon circumstances.
Act upon circumstances.
Rather than have them act upon me.
Rather than have them act upon me.
Yeah, this is you being proactive and not sitting around waiting for somebody to rain down on you, waiting for somebody to ask you to get a job, waiting on somebody to ask you to do something. But you have initiative. You know the things that need to be done, but you just begin to take the initiative and get those things done because you know that they're supposed to be done, and you have the willpower, you have the courage, you got the gumption to get the job done. We can't be sitting around waiting for somebody else to serve us. Yeah, I get more fun. I get a joy out of serving my wife, serving my family, and serving y'all. I will.
I will.
Act upon circumstances.
Act upon circumstances.
Rather than have them act upon me.
Rather than have them act upon me.
I will.
I will.
On a daily basis.
On a daily basis.
Be proactive with my goals.
Be proactive with my goals.
I will.
I will.
Always protect my wisdom.
Always protect my wisdom.
My health.
My health.
And my happiness.
And my happiness.
I will.
I will.
Stay principle centered.
Stay principle centered.
And maintain a positive circle of influence.
Maintain a positive circle of influence.
This is about you staying connected to adders and multipliers. At least adders. They don't have to be a multiplier, but if you're spending your time with adders, you're going to come out of this thing all right. If you don't know the difference between the adder and subtractor, you're going to be in trouble. Watch this. I will.
I will.
Daily learn.
Daily learn.
Commit to myself.
Commit to myself.
And do the things that I purpose to do in my heart.
And do the things I purpose to do in my heart.
I will.
I will.
According to the POP Leadership Institute.
According to the POP Leadership Institute.
Productive in my community.
Productive in my community.
And my private life.
And my private life.
All right, hug somebody, help clean up. Let's get on out of here.